Hello darlings, welcome back to another week of The Clueless Mum. Got my little muff mic and let's jump straight in. I had a lot of messages, DMs, comments about me talking about ADHD last week. I didn't realise what a community there is out there of people who are struggling and people who are thriving. It's a really big deal. I can't get over how many people have it, potentially have it, or don't know they have it, like me. And I found some of the questions from last time that was asked on my referral, and I was asked in my DMs to try and explain some. So I found the survey with some of the questions, and a lot of people asking me like what questions were it, because they weren't sure if they had it. So I thought, why don't we kick off with some of the questions, and then you can speak to your GP and maybe get a referral if you think that perhaps you may have ADHD too. So the first question, which is probably the biggest one: how often do you experience brain fog or difficulty with memory recall? Now, as a new parent, baby brain is a real thing. It's so crazy how your brain just, I don't know if it's overloaded or I don't know, but it just, baby brain is real. But I'm now 4 years in and I can't blame baby brain. I have such memory recall ability lack of. That's not a good sentence. what I'm trying to say is I have brain fog, and memory recall is really difficult, and it's not something as simple as I walk into a room and I forget what I'm there for. That is it, though. Do not underestimate that. But it is simple things as well as I will be looking at something on my phone, I don't know, scrolling Instagram. Something will pop up like, I don't know, pumpkin carving. I'll think in my head, that would be really cool to book for Zeke. I will come out of Instagram, and by the time I come out of Instagram, open my Safari page and go to type in the search what I'm looking for, I have forgotten what it was I was looking for. It's not good. That we're talking seconds. And I often have to go back on my phone and look at what I was looking at to try and jog my memory. It's not good. I have a lot of brain fog. I have a lot of memory recall lapses. And so the options were never, rarely, sometimes, often, all the time. I'm an all the time type of gal, like every day, without fail. Eek. Right, next question. Have you ever had someone say to you, you have great potential if only you were to apply more effort? The answer's yes, I heard that a lot, 1 or 2 times, or never. And for me, I think that's a running theme, definitely from teachers throughout my whole childhood. And I also think that is a narrative I've spun myself. I think that I've been sold a story, and I have worked really hard to try and get over it, but I've only recently realised I also think I have lots of potential. I just need to put in more effort. And actually that isn't true, because what I found out today is that how did he articulate it? It's so annoying. See, this is an example. I saw a video, it articulated perfectly what I was trying to say, but I now can't remember how he said it. He said something like, the answer to being busy is not to fit more in. Life is busy. There's always going to be emails. There's always going to be children wanting you or cooking food, or there's always going to be a to-do list. And to get through the to-do list, the answer is not to add more and be more productive, because that doesn't work with an infinity to-do list. The emails are never going to stop. So doing more emails, taking on more work to clear emails that will never end, creates burnout. And so it's about managing what you have on your plate and coming to terms with the fact that you're not supposed to do it all. And I like the idea that people are reframing things. I see a lot of people saying they're reframing, instead of I have to clean the house, it's I get to clean the house. Instead of I have to cook dinner for my child, it's I get to cook dinner for my child. And I do like the idea of reframing things to try and make you feel grateful. But I feel like sometimes we need to be careful that we're not reframing women, especially, into actual slaves. And they're now convincing themselves that they need to do more and be grateful for the privilege of doing more. Because sometimes it's okay for a woman to say someone else needs to take care of that, or someone else needs to pick up the slack, or something. Sometimes it's okay for women to be angry that it's all on them. I often feel rage that it's all on my shoulders and I never get a break. I often, when I'm hoovering, will be hoovering in rage because it could be the second time I'm hoovering that day and my house still looks like a shithole, and I'm hoovering again and I'm cleaning again, and my house, the amount I clean, my home should be a show home quality, staged, spotless house. But it's a disaster zone. Disaster zone. That fills me with rage. And that's okay. And I'm not going to reframe it and be grateful for the mess. No, it pisses me off. I'll do the hoovering and I'll mum rage through it. And actually, I think that's quite therapeutic. I love a mum rage cleaning session. You've got like 30 minutes and you are just blitzing the place. And you're angry and you're go. But I also get really triggered about other people rage cleaning. My mum used to rage clean. And as I've grown up, it really triggers me. I remember staying with my friend and she was rage cleaning the house and my anxiety was through the roof. It really triggered me. So I'm trying not to rage clean around my child because I don't want to put that on him. I am here to break generational curses. But I do love the rage clean. And one of the questions may be, do you go off topic? Because I've just gone completely off topic. So, yes, I often hear people say I have potential. Female symptoms are often misdiagnosed and mistreated since most ADHD research is male focused. That's what it says. That's what it says. I'm not. That's what I'm just reading. I'm not being biased, but why is it always the men that get everything? Why do they test drive things like car seatbelts on men and so women die more because the seatbelts aren't designed for us, even though we're a massive driver of the car and we're 50% of the population? Like, why is everything? So I think I might be due on my period. That's probably a bit too much information. But I feel really up and down emotional. You're just fed up. Having a day where I'm a bit fed up, I suppose. But then let's move on, because then that'll put me up. Oh, hang on. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's another question. How often do you put off or delay the start of a task that requires a lot of thought? Options: never, rarely, sometimes, often, all the time. I'm an all the time type of gal. All the time. Oh, I can't tell you. There's something in my brain. It just shuts down. It will not let me do something. I had a form for Zeke's school that I was supposed to fill in for like 2 weeks. And I started filling it in today and I got that sort of overwhelmed feeling because I looked at the questions and it was like they were written in Chinese. It was honestly like my brain didn't see what the questions were. And it was so I really went through like an ADHD moment. I got through it and I sort of took it in baby steps and was like, right, one question at a time. But I've been putting that form off for weeks. Tick for me? I don't know. But yeah, basically, I would be all the time. This one says, next question, in your spare time, you often, and then it says choose as many as you need, struggle to unwind and relax, impulsively switch from one activity to another, feel a strong urge to move around, take pleasure in solitary hobbies, feel a sense of calm and relaxation, or other. All of the above. All of the above. I struggle to unwind and relax, but then I also often feel a sense of calm and relaxation, but I definitely can't stay still. I am strong urge to move. I impulsively switch from one activity to another. I often have multiple activities on the go. Take pleasure in solitary hobbies. 10 out of 10, yes. Love. And this is why it's hard to maintain friendships because I wonder why my circle's so small. And then it's like, because I love being by myself. It totally recharges my batteries to be alone. I find being out socially fun, but now I'm not drinking, really. It's really hard. Like when you're drinking, it's easy. You get drunk. It's so easy to socialize. But when you're sober and you're just like meeting people, it's like, oh, it's so hard. And then that was it, basically. That was the questions. I think there were some more formal questions, but I won't go into those. So hopefully that gives you an idea of if any of that resonates with you and you haven't had a diagnosis, definitely worth reaching out to your GP, because I did, and I think it's clear that your girl's got ADHD. I am officially in the Neuro Spicy Mum Club.
This episode is sponsored by Timeless Moments, Portugal's award-winning luxury yacht charter company. We had an unforgettable day at sea with them recently and it was fantastic. The food, the drinks, the service, all 10 out of 10. If you're going on holiday to Portugal, check them out and start planning your next adventure at timelessmoments.pt.
I think this is going to be a running theme, but I've got to ask you for help on how I get my child to eat. No joke. It is becoming impossible. The mornings are harder than the evenings, but it's still a struggle. It can take him an hour to eat a bowl of cereal. And that's with me nagging every few minutes. Darling, eat your food, please. Please eat some food. Like, I don't know what to do. Now, where I'm going wrong is, yes, in the morning, while I'm making snacks and getting him ready, I'll put the telly on and he'll watch Bluey or something while he's eating and getting ready so that I can do what I need to do. So if the advice is turn the telly off, okay, I'll have to take it on the chin. If there's any other advice, that doesn't involve turning off the telly, that would be really handy. But I have a feeling that the advice is going to be turn the telly off. But then I just can't sit in silence. Maybe this is an ADHD thing. I hate silence. Hate it. Silence to me is deafening. I feel so uncomfortable. I feel like my brain might explode. I really struggle. There was a while that I used to do silent meditations, and that was when I was really at the top of my meditating game, but now I couldn't even imagine. Like, silence makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like it at all. So, is there maybe, I don't know, should I, get a radio? What's those Tony boxes? Let me know what your feedback on them. They're quite expensive. Aren't they like £100 and then you've got to spend like 40 quid a pop on a Peppa Pig bloody story? Like back in my day, we had cassette tapes and it was called Storytellers, and I think they were like you get the whole box set for like a tenner, and that was like 500 hours of stories. So they mug parents off left and right, don't they? Train of thought. What was I talking about? Food. There you go. Come back to me. Yeah, so how can I get him to eat? So even if I turn the telly off, what now? What do I do? And I know, but again, is the advice you have to sit with him at the table and eat it? If it is, I'll suck it up and do it. But if there's any way that I can not have to do that, just for his breakfast, certainly, because it's like I'm trying to get us out the door and not be late. But at the same time, the coping strategies that I'm using aren't working, because I end up flustered, he ends up flustered, we leave the house flustered. Is never a good look. Like us in the mornings, my poor neighbours must think we are like living next to the Addams family. Because it must be, they must see us in the morning and be like, holy moly, that family. They see us in the afternoon and we're like, hello, happy, bright as a daisy. In the morning we're like, get in the car. Hurry up and get out the front door, we've got to go. Oh my goodness, I laugh about it, but it's really not funny. It is so difficult. So yeah, any ideas apart from turn off the telly, sit and eat with him? Is there anything else I can do that might be able to help? Because I'd really appreciate it. I'm happy to sit with meals, but if I could have a breakfast, if I could get him to eat without me having to sit with him, that would be a dream. Because honestly, me sitting there, I got shit to do. Like I got so, like, I feel like I'd be even more enraged because I'd be sitting like watching him eat, wasting time. The clock would be ticking. I'd have beads of sweat because I'm like, we gotta go. We're not ready. We gotta go. And that would make me even more anxious. At least I know I'm anxious and it's not working, but at least we're getting out the door with all the stuff we need. If I have to sit for like 40 minutes and watch him eat a bowl of cereal, I don't think it'll end well. So please give me some, if there is any other advice that works. If there isn't, I'll have to take on the chin, but I'm hoping there is. I'm hoping there's things that I can do to, like, I don't know. You guys have got such good advice. Your advice, FYI, on getting him to open up after school, darlings, game changer. Let me tell you, you've changed my life. Your comments on YouTube and on my Instagram, the Clueless Mum, changed my life. It's like I'm getting top class advice from top class people. I can't get over it. It works. And now we have a conversation and I ask him things like, what made you smile today? That's a bit of a tricky one actually, because I feel like he needs that takes a lot of that takes a lot of brain power. But definitely asking him other questions helps. And the other thing that helps that you guys said that I should try, telling him about my day. That really works. Explaining the things that I did, and then it naturally opens up the conversation to him. He really does talk more if I start talking about me. Then he turns it back to him, and I'm okay with that. So thank you, because that advice, golden. And this is why I want this community, because I never would have thought of that. I never ever would have thought to tell him about my day, to give him a chance to, I don't know, calm in and ease into the conversation, and then tell me about his day. Couldn't have asked for better advice. Thank you so much. Yeah. I have my doctor's appointment next week. So I will get my ADHD feedback next week. I also, this might be interesting to some of you, had a scan for my fibroids. If you don't follow my socials, what are you doing, first of all? Give us a follow. But I have had fibroids. I got diagnosed last year, and since January I have been tracking my periods and trying to shrink them naturally with no medication, just lifestyle change. And I had a scan a week and a bit ago, 2 weeks ago, and the results are in. And so I'm going to go and see. The woman on the scanner said that they've definitely shrunk. She thinks, but she can't give me like the info. So I feel like they've shrunk because my period pain has gone from 10 out of 10 out of 10, want to call an ambulance because I think I'm dying, pain, abnormal, ouch, to maybe 2 or 3 out of 10. I usually now have to take a couple of paracetamols on day 1, and then that's it, the whole period. Like, it's life-changing. The difference in my period from January and last year to now, chalk and cheese. And so what I'll do is once I get the confirmation from the doctor that yes, I have officially shrunk my fibroids, maybe not gone, but it's only been 9 months. Hopefully I'll get the confirmation and I'll fill you in, and then we can talk about exactly how I did it, because it's possible. So if you have fibroids, and I think it's probably similar for endometriosis and polycystic ovaries, but I will ask my doctor. But I will talk about that next week, and we'll go into more detail about exactly what's around the fibroids, because I think it's, as we just saw from the ADHD, they don't know much about it because all the tests and stuff have been on men. We need to start talking about women's health, women's reproductive health, certainly, fibroids, endometriosis, polycystic ovaries, adenomyosis, whatever that one is, affects almost everybody I know, and it's debilitating, and no one talks about it. And also, and I'm not just saying if men had periods, but genuinely, if men had any idea what we go through every month, the whole world would be so different, because men would never put up with that type of pain. And neither would women if we weren't bleeding. If you felt how you felt on your period at any other time in the month when you weren't bleeding, you would easily take a day off work. You'd know that your body needs rest. You wouldn't feel guilty for taking time off work. You wouldn't feel guilty for taking time to rest. But for some reason, when we're bleeding and those things happen, we're expected to get up and carry on like normal. Doesn't work for me. So yeah, we'll talk about more next week. Please give me your advice. ADHD advice, keep it coming. Loving it. Thank you very much. How do I get my son to eat? That will be the game changer this week. So please help me. Go on to the Clueless Mum pod is the Instagram account. YouTube, you can just leave a little comment. And if you're listening on the podcast, please take 2 minutes to leave a review. What happens is the more reviews you get, the more it boosts you in the podcast algorithm. And so if I get reviews, then it will boost me out. So if you do have time and you do like it, please leave a review, because that would mean the world. And have a safe week, have a good week, and I will see you next week, my lovely darlings. Mwah.